Welcome to the Sharpway Show. Yes, it is 7 p.m. on the East Coast, so you have to be looking at who? My mug. I don't make the rules. I do make the rules. I both make the rules and enforce the rules. You must be looking at me at 7 p.m. on the East Coast, and I am here. And I know you're saying to yourself, but Larry, I would like more people to watch me. Well, that's good. You should want that. We are being streamed live on like 8 different platforms, which is good. Let's keep doing that. But you can help me out. Whatever platform you're watching me on, whether it's Twitch, yes, we're on Twitch, whether it is Vimeo, whether it's YouTube, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, whatever you're watching me on, you can like and or comment and or share. You can click one of those buttons. All those buttons matter. That's how I get past all the algorithms so that people will care about me and then begin to share and watch, and we can keep growing. So please do that if you can. It does matter tremendously. All right, so why in the world would I be sitting here tonight talking to you about stuff? And I said I was going to talk about Central New York. I am. I was just up in the area recently. I am all around this state constantly. In fact, I was hanging out with the one and only crazy Tim O'Connor just the other day. We were hanging out. So we do it all the time. So I decided to bring in two people who have run for office, who have tried to make change, who have been pushed aside by the establishment. They are literally a government in exile. Bryan LoRusso and Tim O'Connor. How you guys doing?
How you doing, Larry?
I'm doing great, Larry. That was a great introduction.
There we go. See that?
Introduction, man. Thank you.
I love it. But one of the reasons and why I'm always worried and what always bothers me, right? Some of you remember I was really upset back in 2018 when they had the No Hospital Downtown initiative down in Utica, when the government literally went in and took 40 businesses, took them all out, used eminent domain, got rid of them, to put a hospital there, and then also was knocking people's homes down to put a parking lot in. Not joking, taking money, giving it to a private company to do this. And I was like, this is crazy. But if I understand what's going on in your neck of the woods, not that, but something kind of similar has happened. People are worried about losing their property, and it's the government who's throwing stuff at them. Am I getting that right?
You are, Larry. Look, as you know, I've been an advocate for the fact that tax foreclosures in upstate New York are at an all-time high. The government response to COVID has damaged the economy in upstate New York. It's damaged the people living here.
Yep.
And now we have a government that's closing down, like shortening up the time frame for which they can tax foreclose on your house. They're sending out horrible letters to people that are basically, I want to say, almost terroristic or bullying in nature. They're beyond appropriate, beyond a level of people deserve respect in upstate
So hold on,
New
I
York.
want to be clear. So we've been sitting here talking about the ideas of, let's do rent forgiveness, let's do that, but we're still, the government has to get its cut no matter what. Is that what we're saying here?
They are, man. There's nobody on the side of small landlords. They're done, right? The government's squeezing them out. Let's be realistic about that. Now let's also know that we can fight a battle there. Okay, we can bring back, if you guys are brave enough to vote for Larry Sharp, which I know a lot of you are. We could bring back the concept that a small landlord, a middle class person, can have a side hustle that will make them a better retirement, and we're squeezing them out. So
I like that idea. Yeah,
my friend Bryan, right, is incredibly upset about the current situation in Otsego County, Larry. And as you know, I ran for Senate, and Bryan ran for town supervisor. And Bryan was one of those brave individuals. There was a few thousand that did it, but Bryan was one of them, and he led a charge voting for Tim O'Connor, the Freedom Barrier. And so I want you to hear from Bryan about what's going on with him.
Tell me, Bryan. I mean, this is something that really I can tell when you and I chatted a few minutes ago that this is bothering you. It's clear this is not just something. This is really bugging you.
So yeah, it really is. We've been watching, like you said, the rent. You don't have to pay your rent anymore, and we're watching landlords. If they didn't have the money, well, the bank don't care. So the bank's still collecting theirs. If they had enough to pay the bank, well, it's tax time. it's tax time, and if you don't have your taxes, well, like Tim said, they just shortened the length of time. I think it was 4 years. Now it's 3, if I'm not mistaken. Counties.
They're working on making it 3, and that is really unfortunate. Okay, people need chances. People deserve. They're making lives here, man.
I believe they won that. I believe they won that because I think I have it in writing from the treasurer that they fought it and they won it, and it's down to 3 years.
Great.
But Bryan,
congratulations.
you told me, you said, if I remember right, tell me the story. Something about 14 letters, or explain that to me. Tell me what that's about.
So a month ago, this may take a little bit, but I'll try to drill down.
That's all right. Walk us through it.
A month ago, I get a call from a person that is that is part of our group, 72-year-old veteran.
Okay.
Seems to be Otsego County's got a real problem with veterans. But a 72-year-old veteran, part of our group, he says, "Hey, I need your help. I don't understand this paperwork. I've got 14 letters in the mail. They were supposedly certified envelopes. The envelope was never signed. It wasn't delivered. It wasn't delivered in person. We were told in writing, and I have everything in writing. Mm-hmm. Anybody wants it, like they say, I got the receipt."
He does.
They said, "Oh, the COVID rules. The COVID rules is we don't have to serve it in person." Which I did subsequently get an email from a message from a postmaster in the county that says, "No, that's not true. We have to stay within 6 foot from the person, and we have to use a different pen."
Okay.
He's got 14 of these letters stuffed in his mailbox from.
That's what they call a sewer serve, right?
Well,
they call it the sewer serve, right? I just dump it off and tell people that I did it when I didn't do it, so I can take credit for the serve.
Well, and one of the things that I did learn is according to NYS RPTL Article 11 procedures for delinquent taxes. I heard this not in person, over the phone with the county treasurer, who, by the way, the county treasurer was very professional. Alan Ruffles was excellent in working with, and I was told by him it really doesn't matter. The laws pretty much are so on the state and county side.
Yes.
We don't have to serve you. We don't have to tell you. And long story short, we can just take your property.
Yep.
You're delinquent. We don't have to notify you because the law goes back to it's your responsibility. You're supposed to know about it.
Yep.
I have a tough time with that right off the bat, and I certainly hope as a governor you would absolutely rewrite, if not abolish, this law.
The issue that bothers me here more than anything is what you hear from the government all the time is we want to make sure we keep New Yorkers in their homes. We want to protect the small guy. You hear that all the time. We're going to protect you. We're going to give you money. We're going to make it work. You hear that all the time. But the second you don't pay your taxes, you might as well be a mass murderer. It's the same thing. You might as well be a mass murderer because actually mass murderers probably treated better with more respect.
You want to know? Yeah. Go ahead, Tim.
Well, I just want to jump in and say one of the things that Bryan is finding out, one of the things that I've always believed, okay, and this is a shout out to the people in Otsego County. There are people trapped in this system that don't like it. They're doing their job. They're showing up. They're getting a paycheck, and they're trying their very best. So I think that's important to remember when we have these conversations. But also, there are petty tyrants in this system that enjoy the disgusting little bits of power that they have, and they will take it to people. They will exact revenge, and that is perhaps an even bigger problem.
This is the issue that you brought up. If you hear me say this all the time, right? The reason why I'm so upset that we aren't localized, because people always say the same thing. Well, Larry, if you localize government, then you just have local bad government. Yes, but then the state government is there to protect you, right? But when the state government...
That's still a good point.
Yes, when the state government... The problem now is when you have corruption at the local level, the state government isn't there to help you. The state government's telling them to be bad guys. They're enforcing the king's will. And what I want it to be is... The state government should be like a firefighter, right? When you're in trouble, you call them, right? That's when you call them. When you're in trouble, your house on fire, you call the state government. Oh, okay, what's going on? I got some local tyrant trying to take my stuff. State government comes in. I did that. When I saw in Utica, I came in. When Tim told me about this, I put you on a show. I'm trying to do it already. I'm not even a governor yet. And I'm still trying to do it, right? Already, that's the goal. I know there will be some corruption. That's going to happen. But if we have an environment to where the state government's ideal is to protect the rights of the individual, now the petty tyrants, they don't go to the state government and go, oh, please write the laws so I can steal stuff. They go to state government, hey, I'm just kidding. Don't beat me up too bad. I was joking. Come on, let's make a deal. And that's what I want. That's how.
Hey, Larry, do you remember when we did that show about making the DEC a service organization? That's the whole state government should be a service organization, and they're not. They write laws, they pass them down, and again, we have this increasing sense of tyranny. And now Brian's got some more stuff for us, Larry.
Brian, go ahead. I'm sorry.
This is a big deal, man.
It's been going on for a month. We sit down. This veteran came to us, and we sit down with their paperwork. He came in on a Saturday. I sat with it. I digested it. My assistant comes in on Monday. She looks at it. We digest it, and we start shooting emails to the county treasurer. Now, he's got 14 letters. When I tell you and I have them, I could share them with you. The most obnoxious letters from this 800-pound gorilla lawyer up in Rochester, saying, you know what, by June 30th, if you don't pay us, we're going to start foreclosure proceedings. No dollar amounts. They cite some laws that if you actually look them up, they're this thick. Mm-hmm. This is a 72-year-old veteran. So
that's raised 3 kids in Otsego County, Larry. Okay, spent his whole life here. Okay,
yeah, he's a good man. A good man.
I bartended at this guy's wedding back when he got married. It seems like 100 years ago now. I was a kid then. He was much younger, but he's raised 3 wonderful young men that are contributing to our economy. And this is the thanks he gets. This is the thanks he gets.
So we start emailing Ruffles, Alan Ruffles, the treasurer. Like I said, good guy, very professional. By the way, most of our county employees, from sheriffs to road crews, they are excellent to work with. They're caring. They love their community. They're good people.
So who's this lawyer then?
Well, the lawyers. We're
hired gun.
Is that right? Who hired him? He's hired gun by who?
The county. So this ties into COVID and everything else. So during our correspondence, we find out that pre-COVID, we had 14 people in the treasurer's department working on this. We have 42,000 pieces of property, and they dedicated a group to this information, making sure it was correct, making sure it was vetted, making sure. All right, we are down to 5 people. 4 of them are newbies. They can't fill the other position because they're paying so little. Same 42,000 pieces of property, and 3 of them are now dedicated to receivables, and 2 of them are dedicated to foreclosures.
So hold on, I want to be clear about this. So we don't have enough money to pay these guys, but we got cash to pay the hired gun out of Rochester.
Outsourced to a lawyer.
Did I miss something? Tell me if I missed something.
Not. It gets even better. It gets even dumber. Let me put it that way. It's just, there's no other way. It gets dumber. So, all right, we don't know the rules to delivering, certified letters, which is fine. They didn't understand them. A postmaster, like I said, told me what the rules were.
Okay.
These letters really say nothing. They're very threatening. I could give you, 12 or 13 of them. I need to keep one.
No. I've seen the threatening letters before. I know what they look like.
This is to one person, Larry. I am sitting on, right here, these pages. Hold on, let me get in front of the camera.
There we go.
All these pages. 337 people in our county received this letter.
Wow.
337 people in our county received this letter. Here's the best part. During the course of the couple days in correspondence, our veteran, we actually have documentation and an apology from the treasurer. He doesn't owe any taxes.
Wow.
They sent these letters to all these people without vetting this.
So I got to touch a couple things. Number one, For those of you who started small businesses, this is New York State's way. What New York State does is how New York State does it. If you don't live in this state, you don't know this. But what New York State does is they always assume that you are guilty. That is the assumption.
Correct.
So
Especially the tax people.
Correct. The second that you start a business, within about 30 to 90 days, you will get horrible letters from the state saying you owe money for workers' comp. Even if you are a sole proprietor, it doesn't matter. You will get letters saying you owe $40,000, $20,000 for workers' comp, tons of money. If you're someone who doesn't know any better, you say you're new or young, or you don't know how to get an accountant, you get scared. You call them up and go, I don't have $40,000. They'll actually negotiate with you so you can pay them something. But here's the funny part. Just give us 20. Yes, you don't owe them anything.
Right. You
will negotiate to get whatever they can. They will extort you. Now, all you do is, for those who don't know this, is just send those letters to your accountant. Your accountant will go, leave them alone.
Right.
And it'll be over. That's literally what will happen. Yep. But the problem is you have to know or be professional class to be able to survive in New York State against this monster. And we shouldn't have to have, I'm not against professional class. I think accountants are awesome. I have one. I have more than one. I think lawyers are awesome. They're important. We should have them. But they shouldn't be required to survive. And that's my problem. That's the issue.
So let me take this story a little further. We get this information. The Treasury's department was very nice. They were professional. They apologized. I'm now infuriated. I'm going.
Bryan gets hot.
I get hot, and I'm going. Wait. We just sent 340 people in the county very expensive letters. 14 of them apparently to each one of them. How much is that costing us?
Yep.
We don't have it vetted. We don't know if they really owe us or not. And the Treasury Department or the Treasurer also told me that, hey, you know what? He gave me screenshots. This was an accident. We wrote a handwritten note because we're using such outdated software that does not register all of the things that happen. And we found the hand notes written in our files. Our hand notes that are written in the files, but it didn't have a spot in our software to actually keep the notes on compuur.
So again, you got no money for the software, but you got money for the hire gun in Rochester. That's what you got money for.
Which took me back to the Robert Force Farm story. And I'm going, wait. They took that in 2 years. They were sitting on the man's tax check. They had a board meeting where one of the board members is actually going, what are we doing, folks? Why are we taking this property in 2 years? We've never done it. It's not even the law. They were sitting on his tax check. They still took his property.
And Bryan, can I jump in for a second?
By the way, Robert's watching, and he actually posts this. They kept $25,000 in overages when they stole my farm. Robert's watching.
The least of it. And look,
I'm going. Wait. Well, maybe the crappy software that we have now is what we had then. Maybe there was a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
But in the meantime,
Bryan, can I jump in? Because I've done a lot of work. You and I have done a lot of work with Robert Force. I want everyone out there to know that's listening to Larry's show. They took Robert Force's property because he was slightly behind in taxes and because he was pro-natural gas. Okay? It was a political hit job. They were absolutely scared that he was going to go ahead and start drilling for natural gas on his property. And so they went after him. They pulled out all the stops, and it was really, really malicious. And so this is a pattern of behavior that we have in our county, okay?
I'm going to jump in here and say it was a political hit job. Nah, that's a conspiracy. Let me continue. Let me continue my story.
Tim, please conspiracy? Do. No.
17-0, baby. 17-0.
I've heard this over and over again, and I'm going, yeah, maybe it was pro-gas. Would these board members actually pull a hit job on this guy? By the way, another veteran. That's why I said apparently Otsego County doesn't like veterans.
Gonna move out fast, guys.
So I'm going, no way. That sounds that's a little far-fetched. But I'm going, okay, well, maybe. I got the treasurer saying our program stinks. Maybe they made a mistake. Maybe they missed that box. Maybe no one communicated. They're sitting on his check. I saw a copy of this canceled check, right? So I write a letter to the county board, and I literally say, what are you doing? What are you doing for 327 of your constituents around the county?
Yep.
There's 14 of you. We're understaffed. Our program stinks. And now you're going after this many people.
Wait. You're getting to the part where the petty tyrant comes in. I just want everybody to know that.
It's coming.
Go back to you, buddy.
It's coming. This is April 6th. I write this letter. April 6th, I write this letter. I said, are you going to take responsibility for the heart attacks you're going to cause? How about a couple suicides?
Wow.
How about someone that's now thinking they owe you money because you sent this nasty gram from 14 times from a law firm in Rochester, and they're now starting to sell their worldly possessions because they're trying to come up with money.
Right.
They're selling everything they can. They're in a panic. Like I said, I have the list here.
No, I'm with you. Of course,
he's got the receipts,
when people get those notes, those letters, it scares them. They don't know how to act. You are right. Particularly if you're someone who respects the system like a veteran. You respect the system. You assume it's not going to screw you over. You assume they're right, and you also know their power. So that can be very scary for you. I completely agree.
So now I write this letter. I get 2 responses, one from the chairman saying, I also questioned why so many of them are on land banks, into real estate, brokers.
Imagine that.
And they are. That's what they do for a living.
Imagine that.
And I'm like, you know what? That book just stinks. We even have minutes of a meeting of one of our representatives arguing at a meeting that he should be able to buy his neighbor's property if it's foreclosed. They argue over this. They literally, in my opinion.
So I'm in charge of putting people into foreclosure, and I should be able to buy the foreclosures.
Look up Mohawk.
That's the plan. Yeah, that's the plan.
Look up Mohawk Valley Land Bank. They're putting out ads.
I'm going to give you, hold on. I'm going to give you a quick history lesson for those of you who are out there who don't know this. Back in the day, before we went to war with our father country, right, before we went to war with the Brits, the Brits had a thing called admiralty courts. And what admiralty courts were is the British leadership would say, hey, Lord so-and-so, Earl so-and-so, you're going to be a judge in Boston or a judge in New York or whatever the case may be. And here's how we're going to pay you by a percentage of all the things you take. So it's in his best interest to take all of your stuff because he gets a chunk of your stuff.
Right. Today they call it a commission.
Correct. Yeah, they call it a commission. Exactly. Yes. Yes.
The system hasn't changed that much.
No, it hasn't. We always we're not called the Empire State for nothing.
That's for sure.
Yes.
Tammany Hall didn't go away completely, man. They still exist, and their politics still run this state. That's a reality.
So I got to assume then here for a second, if I can, that the lawyer in Rochester was paid on commission.
I don't know how their payment schedule was. Typically with my legal team, they send a letter, they send a bill with that letter. They send 14 bills.
I think it's probably a valid assumption though, Larry. Like this is they sent it to a debt collector.
Correct.
And
yes.
I'm sure because they get to use the threat of taking people's property, they get to charge a lower commission, right? So some debt collectors charge like 40%. These guys probably charge 8% because they know they're going to close the deal. They're going to terrify people into paying that money.
That's why it doesn't matter. They throw a bunch of stuff out the wall. They hope some of it sticks. They hope some people pay, and they get the money because But if the county doesn't have enough money to pay employees, they're not going to be able to validate, hey, let me write a check to this law firm for $20,000 to put them in escrow so that I can have them send letters to punish people. What they're going to do is they're going to sign off and say, we're sending the collections out to them. They'll handle it. And that's how they signed it off for free, saying you'll get a cut. Let's just now see what we can do internally. That's what my gut says, that this guy was paid by commission, and that's why he volunteered. I mean, Rochester, for those of you who don't know, is not in Otsego County.
It's not.
It's not.
It's
They're different
some other
counties.
county, Monroe
But
County, if I
It's
remember.
Monroe
correctly.
County. Yes, it's a different county. So I know we're a governor who would know that. That's crazy, huh? But yes, different county.
Imagine that.
Absolutely.
So I send this letter out to them. Once again, the chairman, I think Bliss, is that Bliss? Bliss says, to my knowledge, no members are buying foreclosed properties. Not
to his knowledge.
Not we're sorry. Not this is horrible. We'll look into it. Not
we should create ethical rules against this.
Correct.
No, just right? to my knowledge, we're not buying up you poor slobs, your foreclosed property.
Yeah. It's not to my knowledge because I put it into a hedge fund. And my hedge fund is buying all your stuff. So I don't know. I just put it into a random real estate hedge fund and they're buying all your stuff. Yes.
I get the next. All right,
go ahead. I'm sorry. I know. I'm sorry about that. But this, guys, we're still getting to the petty tyrant. There's a petty tyrant at the heart of this story.
This gets worse?
This absolutely
this is
gets
already
worse, Larry.
terrible.
It gets worse. It gets worse. Even worse.
Wow. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Brad. I'm already upset already. Keep going. I'm sorry. Keep going.
Keep going. I'm so beside myself. So I literally get a second response from someone in Oneonta, some Jill someone. I think she must have just been elected. And that response was, I'm still digesting this.
Oh, okay.
At least it's a response, Brian.
That's something.
A response.
Right.
Digesting. Okay. So that was on April 6th. I got those responses probably the next day or within a day or so. Out of 14 members, those two. Out of 14 board members, those two.
Okay.
On April 7th, one of the members, Mr. Daniel Wilbur, from not even my district, I have the foil, writes to codes and personally attacks the Black Barn and says it's out of compliance. He's a wedding venue.
Oh, so he came after you.
So the petty tyrant sits the code enforcement office on Brian's freedom of speech. That's an absolute reality.
Yep.
Wow.
Now, he answered me today saying, I had a constituent ask me questions. I said, good. I'm glad. Thank you for this information. I'll be looking at from my next foil that I'm getting forward. And my legal's watching.
Wow.
This is insane. They're trying. So I don't know if this was actually the Republican committee, because he's on that too. He's on our Republican committee. I don't know what he is. He's a representative for 4 towns. By the way, his 4 towns highlighted in yellow. These are all, here you go. Those are all of his foreclosures. All of his foreclosures, 4 pages, 50 people are being foreclosed on. I asked him again, not one of them has addressed it. They didn't like my letter from yesterday. Yesterday I said,
it's obvious, right?
Yeah. You're not their friend, Brian. You're not their buddy.
No, well, you know what? Here's what it really boils down to. They're not our friends.
Oh, yes, and yes.
Wow. That's a good point. That's a good way to put it.
They're not representing us. Look at my conservative member here in Hartwick, Meg Kennedy. Get on Mohawk Valley Land Bank. She's on their committee. She's like vice chair. And she's actually running ads for people to join their team because they work with the county to scoop up foreclosures.
They do it. Like this is a business in Otsego County. This is a legitimate collection of businesses. It's crazy.
There's nothing up here for these guys to be scoundrels for other than real estate.
Yeah.
There's nothing here. There's no,
it is. It's beautiful here. It really is. I mean, it's
where are they going to make all their money? All right. They're not making it on their big salaries to be a representative, but they are making it. They are making it on real estate.
This has been the way I've seen so many times that and the problem is, as you said, there's 2 big problems here. One, most of these committee and commissions who would look at this in any way, shape, or form are not elected. They're selected by the people in Albany. So they don't care about local people at all because elected by Albany. And there's no recourse if they're wrong. The only recourse is legal recourse, which you have to then have money to pay the lawyers to fight. So they send out 300. They realize that maybe out of the 300, 30 will have enough money or savviness to fight. 270 won't. So they'll just deal, they'll push off guys like you, hope they can intimidate you, push you away. Meanwhile, they're going to suck up a bunch of cash off the other 270. And they throw them all out and they say, well, they're deadbeats or whatever they're going to call them. They insult them, call them names and say, and what do you get in return? Well, pay your bills or whatever is the response you get. We don't realize in many cases, there's no bill to pay. Right. This is just extortion. There's no bill to pay.
It's just, and it did turn out with the 72-year-old veteran. And once again, the Treasurer's Department was great. But
you brought up a very important point.
Not one of them even
said,
"We're really sorry this happened."
I think the average worker, government worker, is somehow a bad person or trying to hurt people? Not at all.
No.
Which is why you hear me all the time say the same thing. I don't hate the player. I hate the game. It's the system that's broken. And here's the other worst part. There's a ton of people who are scamming the system. Why? It's a crappy system. So it draws in the scummy people who go, look at this. Thank you for creating a system for our scummy people to come in and to scam. If you remember, in New York State, again, for those of you who are watching or listening who don't live in New York State, in New York State, our people get arrested often and indicted often. And when they do, you know what their defense is? The defense is never, I didn't do it. That's not a defense. It isn't. They never deny it. Their defense is, everybody does it. How else can I get anything done?
I followed the rules.
I followed the rules. Right. Yes.
I know. I know.
That's the defense. The defense is never, I didn't do it because everybody's doing it. So what does that mean? And here's the most important piece. The system is broken, number one. But number two is, if you're in this system, since you're doing stuff that's illegal or unethical, all that matters is when are you targeted? So once you become I get mad at you or I'm unhappy with you, I target you and you're in trouble. And that's why they targeted you, Brian. They thought, we'll target him because they don't know any better. And they thought you would run. You didn't run.
No.
But that's what they thought. They thought, we'll target him and he'll run away because a lot of them would have.
No, well,
that's a good point, Larry. That's a good point.
And I've been saying it a while, at least for Otsego County. We have now a $100,000 a year administrator they hired. We have a treasurer, and we already have 24 supervisors throughout our county. Supervisors, town supervisors. We got 24 towns, 24 supervisors.
Okay.
It's time to get rid of our county reps and go back to the board of supervisors.
Wow.
Get rid of them. We don't need them. They want to be realtors. Go be realtors. But
that's
get
true.
Off our county. That we're paying them. We're
literally paying them to rob you.
Yes.
Here's money. Please rob us.
Abuse us, attack us, spend more money we don't have, and then just dump it on our plates just so we can't pay our taxes so they can come and get our property.
Yes,
it's a
absolutely.
Vicious, disgusting cycle.
Wow.
It's a vicious cycle. And some other things have happened, Larry, in our county. And Brian and I and a number of us went out, tried to get Second Amendment petitions, right? And get our county declared a Second Amendment sanctuary. So look,
good idea.
What's the end result of that? It's fair. We have a lot of people that believe in the Second Amendment. And it didn't even get a hearing on the county level. Look, even there's county board members that participated in collecting the signatures. I think that those guys deserve the benefit of the doubt. But what happens is then they take this thing that we want to create and they move it off to a committee. And we haven't heard a thing about it other than it's being ignored.
Yep. So, if these guys, go ahead.
No, that's okay. No, I was almost at a loss for words anyway because it hurt so bad.
If you're not in lockstep with their agenda, they'll attack their own.
Yep.
They'll attack Joe. And I know many county positions from, once again, sheriff's deputies to, nursing staff to, in the hospitals. if you're not in lockstep with the management, and let me tell you, the management are the biggest bully, abusive
100%
SOBs I've ever seen. And they just showed it to me. You know what? I don't like your foreclosure letter. I'm going to send codes after you.
Yep. I'm sending my goons. Yep. Absolutely.
I got to tell you. Then I go back to Robert Force saying, oh, boy, wait. Maybe it wasn't a conspiracy over gas drilling. Maybe they did target him, and maybe they had some crappy software.
Maybe it's all of those things.
Maybe it's both. Or
maybe there's no incentive to make it better if they're all making money.
Well, they're all fine.
So yes,
even if they're not making a lot of money.
While our nurses, our teachers, our small businesses are shut down. The only candidate in our area that actually went to our protests, and they were peaceful protests about these mandates, John Sulka, right, Tim?
Yep. I just was with him 2 weeks ago.
I got to meet him face to face finally. And he knew who I was.
You know, we got nurses being fired, you know, for making a choice not to take the vaccine.
Yep.
We got teachers doing the same. We have professionals doing the same, getting fired. And now you're going to ask them to pay their taxes?
Oh, yeah.
The same county
absolutely
wouldn't stand up for them to begin with?
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah,
so let me grab a couple of comments if I could. The comments are firing up. I want to bring a couple. Shelly says, hey, Brian and Tim.
Hey, Shelly.
Hey, Shelly.
Yes.
Good to
Ryan
see you.
says, Bryan LoRusso, Tim O'Connor, the Freedom Variant. There we go.
There it is.
Yes.
I love seeing that in print. Thank you, Bedford.
Londa says, I thought this would be the subject. Thank you, guys. So that's
You're welcome.
There we go. So let's see if I can grab
Rhonda's without a doubt a fan. She's been great and very supportive.
There we go. So John Morris, he says, veterans support the Second Amendment. Absolutely. Very true.
Yes.
Yeah. Avi says, this eviction moratorium is just sanitized, strong-armed robbery.
Yes.
If they were generally concerned about people, they would suspend property taxes as long as the moratorium stands. Valid point. Instead, they just allowed people to freeload and collude with banks to foreclose on tiny landlords. The governor and mayors who enable this crime should be held personally liable for all the losses and damages.
Hey, can I say something?
Go ahead, please.
He's a freaking genius. Okay, period. This guy writes insightful, intuitive, intelligent stuff. He does it on your show all the time. This is one of the reasons why your show is great, right? Because people like Avi and you get people like me and especially Brian, who's very passionate about the subject. People should be watching this show. Yeah. People should be signing your petitions. This is a reality.
With you.
I know
absolutely.
You are.
I'm not fighting on that. So let me walk down that road if I could. Guys, please like, comment, share. It does matter if you're watching now. Do that. It does matter. Click that like button, share. Do everything you can. This is being shown on about 8 different platforms, but we could always get more. The more, the better. It's always going to work. And the sponsor of the show is, of course, who I am, libertarianism.com. So if you care about this, and if this makes sense to you, the idea of localism, keeping people happy, cutting taxes, allowing businesses, small landlords to actually thrive, head on over to libertarianism.com. Click that link right there. Share it with your friends. Watch the videos. We talk about happiness, believe it or not. We're the only group of people who don't talk about get the other guy, beat up the other guy. Oh, the left is wrong, the right is wrong. We talk about making people happy, whether you want to be left or right or in the middle or whatever you want to be. That link right there. If your friends say, what's libertarianism about? Send them to that link. There's cool merch there, all cool stuff if you want to. Please check it out if you want to. And of course, if you like merch, like maybe, for example, you say to yourself, Larry, that is a very savvy shirt you're wearing. It is.
Nice.
And if you would like that savvy shirt, you can get it if you go to larryshop.com/shop. You can pick up that shirt if you want to. If you want to get lawn signs, whatever you want to get, head on over to larryshop.com/shop. And if you want to help me out in general, pop over and volunteer. Everything you can do. But the last piece I'll bring up, I did a little bit of a housekeeping, I know, but the last piece I'm going to bring up is if you want to stay in Tim O'Connor's world, which you should be in his world,
you should.
Head over
you can
to his Facebook page, facebook.com/Tim451. It is the Freedom Variant. That is the.
I am.
Yes, he is the variant, the Freedom Variant. Check him out. Be in his world. He does the free solution just like I do. You will enjoy his show. Be in his world. He's a savvy guy. He helps put this together. So if you like what you're seeing, I'm not asking you for cash. I mean, I'll take it, but I'm not asking for your cash.
Give it.
I am asking you instead to do the things to make us grow. And that's following Tim. That's picking up merch. That's going to libertarians.com. And that's like, commenting, and sharing. All right, guys. I appreciate all that stuff. Thank you. So
wait. Can I get some? I just want to say.
Go ahead, please. We got time. Go.
The Freedom variant is going to be spreading freedom this weekend, collecting signatures for Larry Sharpe. And one point that we didn't hit on specifically tonight, Larry, and you and I, whenever we talk, almost always hit on it. And I always beat Bryan about the head and shoulders with it, okay? Here's a distinct reality. There are people that love the power that the state gives them. They dress themselves in red. They dress themselves in blue. Occasionally, they even dress themselves in gold. I don't care. I get it. Okay, at least you're making an effort. But what we're battling is individual rights, individual liberty against the power of the state and people who use that power to hurt people and take their stuff and to enrich themselves. Even just petty vengeance and petty tyranny is still tyranny, guys. We have to fight this battle. And there's good people everywhere, too. Everywhere. And we have to empower their voices every single chance we get. And that's why I want to give a shout out to Rick Brockway, who did spearhead this petition collection. I think he's as frustrated with the rest of us about the whole 2A thing kind of falling apart. I just, I think he's upset about it.
Quest Fanning says, great show as always. Shelly says, they took my farm worth $360K and gave me a $1,200 check from the state AG. Wow.
It's insane. They don't even have to give any of the money back, the excess proceeds.
Yeah, they whatever their proceeds are, where are those proceeds going? How is this? I got to tell you,
it's really bad. Robert goes on. They never had a resolution to sell my farm nor to transfer my deeds. They used quitclaim deeds to take it while I was in litigation. They made me put $21,000 into the county's escrow account, then sold it at auction while I was in litigation.
And by the way, that video I mentioned that I've seen, I think her name was Betty Ann Schwartz at the time. She was on the board, in the board room with the board members going, what are we doing, folks? We've never done this. Ever. Yeah.
Wow.
And they did it. Reopen Robert's case, you guys.
They took his farm and gave him his check back. What?
Wow. They took his farm, then gave him his check back.
That he had an escrow to pay his taxes. And like I said, the conspiracy thing, maybe they were gas drilling that. And now I'm going, wait.
Tim, you're winning again.
This tyrant.
18-0, brother. 18-0.
You're winning again. I don't know what's going on.
I know. I'm telling you.
Oh, man, I'm getting scared. All right. Okay. Yes.
My latest conspiracy is Larry Sharpe wins the governorship of New York State.
I like
That's
that.
my latest conspiracy.
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. So Joel says, anyone who has run a business in New York State knows it's very hard. And Cuomo had to never say New York State is open for business.
I choked when he said that. I was like, what?
Yes.
Like,
yes.
what?
But this is the issue that bothers me too, right? And this goes down to what people don't get. A lot of people are very happy when Kathy Hochul, our governor, says, I'm raising more money for this, more money for that, more money for this. And it sounds good, right? Oh my God, we're all getting checks. It sounds great. But there are two problems. There is no systemic change is number one. So things aren't getting better. You're just getting bribed to shut up about it. Mm-hmm. And the second thing is, where are you getting that money from?
Yeah, and you're getting taxed to shut up about it.
You're getting taxed or they're taking your property. So that's happening. Yes.
Go Bills, right? Go Bills.
Yes.
I'm a Buffalo Bills fan. So I'm getting a new stadium. Woohoo. Thank you.
But I lost my house and now I'm renting. But at least I get to watch the Bills, I guess.
Well, you can rent closer to the stadium.
You can rent closer to the stadium instead of having a house. Yes.
I could maybe, park a tent around there somewhere. I'm a pretty savvy outdoors guy, All right. It makes sense now.
So that's the part that's worse. You don't make systemic change. And then where's the money coming from? So it sounds great when she goes, 20 million for this and 2 billion for that and 8 billion for this. And people go, she's an amazing. Look at all the money she found. Well, you didn't find that money.
Oh,
I have a direct question for you, Laffer. As a candidate for governor,
Yep.
if you won,
Yep.
would you reform, revamp, throw it away this foreclosure law?
Of course. Look, the reality of it is there are several things we have to work on. It isn't just that.
Oh no,
it is that.
I understand that.
But the first thing I talk about all the time, we actually have to do what the government of Singapore does, what Norway does, and create an actual fund out of New York State to begin to grow an actual trust that will pay for property tax. Within the first year, we can, and this is the thing people don't understand. I understand what the people who are buying up all those properties, these are all hedge fund people, right? And what they actually want, yes, correct. And what they actually want is money that will keep coming in. That's why they want renters. That's the whole reason.
Right.
So I'm going to give them that. I'm going to allow them to put money into the New York State Trust. They will put it in no taxpayer dollars. It'll not be debt, dividend based upon the amount of revenue the state brings in. They then get a dividend on what they put in based upon that every single year. As they do that, we bring in more revenue. They get more money, which is good for them. And because it goes to the state, it is a tax haven for them. Tax haven for them. It's guaranteed by the New York State, unless New York State goes under, right? Which again gives them an incentive to make New York State not go under. So maybe they'll stay in the state, right? Because now they're invested in it. But what happens is within the first year, we can pay for all school tax. If we pay for all school tax after the first year, that cuts property tax by about half right away for most New Yorkers in that area.
More than half.
I thought the lottery was going to take care of school tax.
Go ahead, say again.
I'm sorry. I thought the lottery was supposed to take care of school tax.
It was. Here's what I said. Let me be very clear on this, Tim. You are correct. This is why I say this. It is a separate company, not run by the government. Yeah. All that happens is the controller oversees and can audit them, but it is not run by the government. It is a separate company. That's how Singapore does it. So you can't just suck up all the money like they did. It is a separate company. They're all getting separate salaries. They're all getting paid to do this. It's by charter. Then they pay for the taxes. And once that's done, second piece for those seniors. Once you're 65 years old, if you have owned a home in New York State for at least 10 years, your property tax goes down 5% at 65, 5% every year to 85, no property tax. Now, what happens, people say, well, where's the money going to come from? People not leaving their homes.
Right.
They won't be doing two things. One, going to nursing homes, which we, the state, pay for, or packing up and moving to Florida and spending their pensions in Florida. So now we have more money in the state. Property tax goes down. We do this, and the idea of tax foreclosure should diminish into almost nothing. So we have to get rid of that law and stop the problem.
I love
them.
Yeah, by the way, I love your MTA gig the other day in regards to, you know what? Big business is going to pay us to advertise on our bridges.
Yes.
You mean actually bringing capitalism back to New York?
Yes.
Oh my God! When I first heard that back in I think he started like 2018, 2019. I'm like, all right, this guy's crazy. I love him. This will never work. But then the more I thought about it and I digested it, I'm like, wait a minute. This will actually be. It's a brilliant strategy. It is. And so now people are taking it all over the country and using it. We were already doing it with stadiums, but I couldn't quite click it connected in my brain. But now I think it's the wave of the future. It's got to happen.
But the reality is, I'm trying to bring the left and the right together, right? The left will always tell you, I want big business and rich people to pay more. And the right says, I don't tax it. I go, great. I'll give you both. I will allow the big business to pay more and I'll not raise taxes. How can you be mad at me?
Well, I mean,
who can ever be mad at Larry? Come on, man.
All the time. Yeah.
It's just because they don't understand you.
He's not in lockstep with the program, and the managers aren't going to do too well under your program. Thank God.
We kind of disempower the petty tyrant with
That's the
programs
issue.
like that.
But if we do that, Jericho said this is some monarchical shit. That's good. But my point is, this is exactly right. If the tyrants won't do well under my system, we'll have less tyrants.
And the people
they can leave the state.
Yes, they can pack up and go to Florida.
Brian, I'm sorry I talked over you there. I apologize, but I had to jump in on that one. They're chasing out middle-class, hardworking, entrepreneurially minded, and young professionals. That's who's leaving this state because of the high taxes, because of the lack of opportunity. Bro, I'm going to take you on the back roads around Otsego County, and you're going to see desolation, former farms that had families, right? Kids everywhere, growing communities. They've killed it. The government has killed it. You got to fix the New York State milk system too, bro.
Is I've crossed this state every single year, and I've seen all of those things. I've been through the backwoods. I've been through everything. You know how, for those who don't know, literally I go to every single county every single year. Been doing it for 5 years already. And I take local drivers to help me out, to drive me around. And they take me to all these places. Yes.
And look, Larry and I went to like 9 of the 11 counties that represent Senate District 51. To share good ideas all over the state, guys. And in the middle of a pandemic, we were absolutely brave. Stunning and brave, Larry. Stunning and brave. That's true.
We were both. Absolutely, yes. Ryan says, to my knowledge means willfully ignorant.
It does.
There we go. Sean says, great episode, guys. Good dynamic with you guys. By the way, Sean Hayes is on the ticket with me.
This guy is going to be an attorney general that might investigate claims like this, and he would be willing to do it, I bet you. Based on my limited experience with him, he'd be good at this.
Absolutely. Yes, Sean is a fighter. I mean, you put him on something.
He is.
He's not stopping until he gets an answer. That's how this guy works. Absolutely. Yes, 100%. So, yeah. So, all right, let's see here. Jericho says, has anyone tried to reach out to a local news station? Maybe they would cover this story.
So in our story, we that I just told you, we shared it with Daily Star. We stared. From what I understand, it's been sent down to Mid-Hudson News down there. We shared it with the Mountain Eagle. I'm hoping they pick it up. I have, like I said, I have all of the documentation, and I have a half a dozen more foils out. The story gets a little deeper. And there is some residual stuff out there that I know of, and you know, there's going to be more to it. I'm just right now I'm seeing how many flies I catch with the paper.
Yeah,
I like that. Garrett says 2A was completely ignored upon the functional level of the county. Pathetic.
Yes,
he's not happy.
That guy was spearheaded it. He's one of the guys that really put boots on the ground. And did the I love that guy. He did the absolute work of getting those petitions together.
Yeah, Garrett worked tirelessly on that.
He's amazing like that.
What, 3,700 signatures?
Yeah, wow. Something like that.
Hand it over to the board. And because they're all not in lockstep, you may have what's his name, Brockway, pushing it. But because they're not in lockstep, you get the guys going, oh yeah, sorry, we're not going to do this. This is grandstanding.
Yeah, but they got 163 counter signatures, and those guys got a hearing before the board about becoming that's how politics rolls. Because the board has meetings at 2:30 in the afternoon on Tuesdays. So, you know, if you show up, you maybe get a couple minutes to speak. Very convenient for the middle class.
Wow. Well, Robert says Tim O'Connor for president. I'm in.
Let's do this, Tim. President of what?
Whatever. I'm voting for you. Yes.
There'll be no presidents if you make me president.
I love that. You can be president of the universe. I'm in. Let's do it.
Okay. Intergalactic planetary. That's going to be my title.
There we go. Rich Patel. Oh, thanks. Rich says, hi, guys. I mailed in more signatures today. I'm at 115 to date. Rich, getting them signatures. Nice. Thank you, guys. Every little bit you can get really does. Yes, please. That is awesome. Thank you, guys. I definitely appreciate this. Yes. I don't know who this person is. Miliana says on May 6, 2022, the Oneonta Hotel will be sold at auction at the
another travesty
courthouse.
Yep,
the property
another
was
travesty
the home
from
for many
our area.
poor and low-income people. The city of Oneonta administration abused the power to close the building down. No matter what she does, she'll never be okay. A police officer told one of my tenants February 2nd, 2019. On February 5th, 2019, the corrupted court ordered all my tenants to be out within 2 days. Yes, on February 7th, the day Delgado was inaugurated, his office next door. Wow.
Melania is another victim of a zealous style of governing in our local community. She's a victim. She's absolutely a victim. She's angry. She's hurt. It's completely understandable what they did to her. It's awful.
There was a lot of bad, stuff going on with that. And like I said, you first hear it, you go, yeah, sounds a little conspiracy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, I just got it. I just witnessed it firsthand. And these guys are used to preying on people, and you know what? Come prey on me.
So look, Larry, they just to further, like they come up with what they think is a good idea, and they throw all the force of the government behind it. There's no persuasion, there's no discussion, they pick someone that's bad and they go after them. They did it again, like they did it to Robert Forth, they did it to Melania. They're what they did to Bryan is actually kind of minor compared to, and they still poked a hornet's nest there. They made a mistake, so it's
they were hoping you'd run away.
And by the way, I did meet with codes. I did have a permit back when we built the Black Barn. We are fine. It is in writing. The issue is closed. So
Larry's coming back there. Then Larry's coming back as long as the issue's closed.
I would have gone if the issue was open. I still would have come. That would have stopped me.
What? And I'm going to have any event I want.
That wouldn't have stopped me at all. Yes,
it's my private property.
Yes.
It's not for rent. It's not for sale. It's for my friends to come, and I can have a fucking Oops, sorry.
You can F-bomb. It's fine. It's the internet. F-bomb.
Oh, he can? He can?
No
I
worries.
warned him that he can't. I told him he
can.
Well,
you can F-bomb it. It's fine.
You know what? At this point, I'm planning a Woodstock.
I like it. So,
but
guys,
if you like the
F-bombs, you like the Woodstock, like, comment, and share. It does matter. This is really an important thing. If you think this matters, do that if you would. I appreciate it. So, guys, we'll come up on the end of the show. Is there anything I should be bringing up or something we've missed before we want to wrap this up?
I just always...
Well, I'll keep everybody in the loop via email on our situation. If they choose that they want to make it worse for themselves, well, we'll shine the light.
There we go.
Just catch the Freedom Variant this weekend and sign a petition for Larry Sharp.
So
there's good people everywhere. Let's empower their voices, okay? Let's do that.
Tim, are you doing something this weekend around the area?
I'm running around collecting signatures. You up for that? What do you got for me, Bryan?
Well, I'm kind of thinking we should put something together for the Hartwick area. I mean, like I said, I saved all our signatures for you guys.
There we go.
Let's
love
it. Let's do it.
I haven't signed for anybody. Neither has my camp up here. And I think we're pretty centrally located with some good people around.
All right. That's great. I'll meet up with you this weekend. Bryan and I will do some more shows because Larry, we just scratched the surface. Okay. There's other things that can be talked about, that should be talked about.
Okay.
Even his campaign for town supervisor should be talked about, how he had an endorsement from the Conservative Party that was yanked away from him. All sorts of things that go on in small town America that should be discussed. And Bryan and I are going to do it in the future.
My lawyer loved that story. She was absolutely floored with that story.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah. Guys, thank you so much for today. I appreciate everybody else. Thank you so much for watching. And I'm sure I will see you all